What happens after the strawberry moon isn't written in the stars. It's written in your cells, in your sleep, in your silence, in the way you walk into a room full of familiar people and suddenly feel like a stranger in your own bloodline. Because the full moon didn't just illuminate the sky, it exposed the wiring underneath your patterns, the emotional contracts you didn't know you signed, the financial cages you've inherited but never questioned. Most people think the moon is done when it starts to shrink, but they've never listened to what happens in the echo, because that's when the real shift begins. The strawberry full moon was the light. June 18th is the test, not a punishment, but a pause. A subtle moment when the universe leans in and whispers, "So, what are you going to do now?" Because after light comes choice. After realization comes responsibility. And after seeing the chain, you can either bless it or break it. The energy right now is strange, not heavy, not loud, but thick like fog over a field of memory. You might feel forgetful, you might feel spacey, you might forget what you were doing halfway through a task. That's not distraction, that's spiritual recalibration. Your system is deleting old scripts, not just mental ones, energetic ones, especially around money. Because here's what the moon stirred up that no one's talking about. Your financial life is not just a reflection of your mindset. It's the residue of unresolved energy passed through generations. It's spiritual muscle memory. It's the echo of a time when your ancestors traded safety for silence. And you, dear one, are the disruption, which is why right now everything might feel off. Because you're vibrating at a frequency that doesn't match what you were taught. You were taught to be grateful for crumbs, to fear overflow, to associate ambition with arrogance, to flinch when good things last too long. Not because your family didn't love you, but because they didn't know how to hold abundance without guilt. They didn't know how to receive without apologizing. They didn't know how to rest without first breaking. The full moon brought this to the surface, but June 18th will bring it into your body. You might feel your chest tighten when someone talks about money. You might catch yourself changing the subject. You might hear an old voice at your head say, "You don't need that much." But what if you do? What if your soul signed up for overflow? What if your calling doesn't fit into the financial templates your family accepted? June 18th isn't just another day. It's an integration portal. It's when the universe watches what you do after the epiphany. Will you go back to playing small? Will you discount your rates? Will you silence your hunger again? Or will you finally sit at the table you were born to own? Because here's the twist. The full moon opened your awareness. But the day after, today, is when your patterns try to reclaim you. Your old stories come back, not because you're failing, but because they're checking. Are we still welcome here? This is where most people quit. Not because they're weak, but because they confuse the test for a sign to stop. Let me be clear. If things feel shaky right now, that's confirmation you're in the rewrite. Your body is detoxing ancestral scarcity. Your mind is rewriting neurological architecture. Your soul is widening its vessel for wealth. And yes, it feels weird. It might not feel like magic, but that's because it's not loud. It's ancient. And ancient magic doesn't scream. It rearranges. You may notice odd signs. Sudden fatigue after feeling inspired. Emotional dreams about childhood homes or lost relatives. Feeling triggered by someone else's success or joy. Wanting to clear clutter, especially where you keep money. These are not symptoms, they're signals. Your energy is shedding what your lineage couldn't, and it's doing it fast. And here's why I want you to stay with me until the very end. Because I'm going to share something most people never tell you about what happens after the full moon. A truth that explains why some manifestations stall, why some breakthroughs don't land, and how to make sure you don't return to your old frequency just as you're stepping out of it. Because the moment just after transformation is the most fragile and the most powerful. Which brings us to June 18th. This isn't just a date on the calendar, it's a vibrational checkpoint. Cosmically, you are standing at the edge of the full moon's lingering light. Jupiter's wisdom is still echoing through the water of Cancer. Neptune's haze is heightening your spiritual vision. Mars has moved into Virgo, asking not for passion but for precision. This is the part of the moon cycle that many ignore, the tailwind. But for the energetically sensitive, for the ones doing real inner work, this is where the spiritual weather gets the most intense. Because it's silent. Because it doesn't knock. Because it asks you to listen with your bones. You may feel it in your dreams tonight. Strange symbols, unfinished conversations, money appearing or vanishing in surreal sequences. You may feel it in your gut when checking your bank account, an unfamiliar calm or an unexplained sadness. This is not emotion, this is memory. The energetic memory of what your lineage feared to touch. Wealth without shame. You see, some families didn't just lack money, they feared it. They distrusted it. They made it the villain of every wound they didn't know how to name. And that fear didn't disappear. It mutated into phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, into beliefs like, you have to work harder than everyone else, into nervous systems that shut down the moment abundance arrives. You may be the first one to feel all of it, and the first one strong enough to stop it. So here's the part I promised, the piece most people never hear. You are not healing money to get rich. You are healing money to reclaim your sovereignty, to stop performing scarcity as a loyalty ritual, to stop dimming your capacity because others never met theirs. You're not here to earn your worth. You're here to embody it. So today, on June 18th, mark the moment. Do something you've never done with your money. Say thank you to it. Place it on your altar. Write it a letter. Forgive yourself for how you've used it to feel in control or to disappear, and then choose to stay. Stay in the discomfort. Stay in the rising. Stay in the blank space where the new story wants to be written. Because after the strawberry moon, there is no more pretending. There is only presence. And in that presence, your true wealth begins. So if you're still watching, you've already crossed the threshold. You've already said yes. And now all that's left is to not turn back. Comment 888 if you're still with me. And know that this story, the one you're rewriting, it echoes forward. They'll feel it, even if they never say it. The lineage will shift because you dared to listen. And the money? It will finally recognize you. Not as the survivor, but as the sovereign. This is what happens after the strawberry moon. And this time, you won't forget it. If this message stirred something in your body, if a part of you went quiet because it recognized truth, then do not leave this moment unmarked. Comment 888 below to claim it. Subscribe for more whispers like this, because the next one might carry the exact code you've been waiting for. Share this with someone whose silence is heavier than their words. You may not realize it, but you could be the one who breaks their chain too. Stay close. There is more coming, and you're finally ready to hear it.